not just in bomb mines, but just everywhere within the land and brother Republic of Liberia. Folks are actually stranded with this whole sense of things. So we have on tomorrow, we'll have an exclusive on what is happening with Legis. All right. You're listening up to the True Breakfast Show on 96.1 in Highland Soul of Liberia. My name is O'Neill. That are sleeping here. We have on our last segment guest is presidential hopeful. Well, Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. Some of you refer to him as the Pullman lawyer. He's the face of the Liberian People's Party. Well, he's here to share breakfast from now straight up to 10 o'clock this morning. Good morning to you, Councillor. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm happy to be back with the two of you.
Your super is on the earning. How you doing? We don't want to hear ask health-wise. How is Councillor Tiawan Gongloe doing?
I just told you when you mentioned someone's name and said I was younger. I said no, I'm not as young as you think. I'm older than that person you're talking about. I'm an exercise coach.
I mean, age is just number.
It's just a number because
Just a number.
I feel 30. I've never had pain in my. I've not had ankle pain, knee pain, or back pain.
What in Liberia? People are so concerned about age.
Never in my life. I feel like I'm 30 years old. Yet I'm 66, 67.
You play active? Which other sports you play?
Well, I'm an amateur basketball player, amateur football player,
Okay.
amateur volleyball player.
You got that energy to run for like 30, 40 minutes?
Oh, let me tell you, when I used to live in a place called Israel Community, I used to walk one Saturday every month from Israel Community at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I arrived in my office on Ashland Street at 9:30 in the morning. Walk with the car driving behind me. You know, so look at that distance.
Why do people refer to you as the Pullman lawyer? I mean, let's go into business there. Sometimes I sit back and I try to think about why would they call Tiawan Gongloe the Pullman lawyer?
No, but it's not that every case I take I'm not paid for every case I take. No, I get paid. But if you're a poor person, you have a good case, you come to me, I will not turn you away because you don't have money. And when I came from law school in academic 87, I got admitted to practice of law in 1988. I just used to go to the Temple of Justice every day and free people from prison bench. Every day I just used to do. I was working with Councillor Supu and later with Galaulo.
Depending on the nature of the case.
Depending on the nature of the case, I just used to go and see people sit on the prison bench. Why are you here? At that time, Magistrate Dunbar Innes, he knew me very well because every day he's here again. And so, but I was working with the two leading human rights lawyers then, Councillor Supu and Councillor Galaulo. So when I left law school, I decided to go and join them to help free people from jail, to help people in difficult situations. So I used to be at the police station up to midnight sometimes. You're
not thinking about getting involved in the politics.
No. I was not married. I was alone. I was free.
That was your last basic.
Yeah, well,
yes. You leave your legal affairs and just go and free people from prison.
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to enjoy doing it, and now I'm benefiting from it.
When was the last time you actually free someone?
Well, I've not been going to court frequently for the last 6 months.
Because you want a political position.
I find people in my law office who are working. I've been a lawyer for 34 years, going 35 years.
I mean, you are so accessible. Sometimes people will get to you easily than going through the problem. Someone you take phone call, is it council? Well, I'm at the central, and you're moving.
Yeah,
yes.
I get a lot of that. I get a lot of that throughout the country. I call, I make some calls to people, and they don't know that people under there are doing things, and people get free based on telephone calls. I'm very accessible. I do not have my telephone number that I will call on the radio. Of course, I do get calls up to something like 10 o'clock in the night. I have to cut off my phone because I have to sleep.
Yeah, you're human.
Yeah. So, but I'm beginning to benefit from it. I've always, in fact, benefited. 2002, when Taylor put me in jail, all the poor people who stood up, thousands of people come to the police station.
You were incarcerated?
Oh, okay. 2002, I was incarcerated on the direct order of President Taylor. I was tortured severely overnight. The next morning, I couldn't walk, simply because I was representing journalists, human rights advocates, and other people. Liberia Women Initiative and all this. But I remember a case when a widow Cooper, executive director of Liberia Women Initiative, was arrested because she had talked about the White Flambo case. There was this market woman who was killed mysteriously, and the SSS were being SSU, they call them, were being accused, and so they would send a whole truckload of police for her.
To arrest you.
She said,
Okay.
"I'm not going until I pass to my lawyer, my law officer. I cried in cinema." Then she came there, and I followed her to the police station and made sure she got released. So there were many cases like that. It is those people who call me poor man's lawyer because for those cases, I never got paid. The grand juries, 18 grand juries, 2018. It took me 8 months of trial. They didn't pay me. But you know, today, those are the people who support me.
Do they hear you in grand jury?
They do. If I have a name in grand jury, my name is called Pulinho, Savior.
In grand jury?
Yeah.
Okay, now you're into politics. Is it stressful?
And let me tell you
okay,
what they did in
that.
grand jury this year. I spent a new year in Horstown. They gave me 2 white roosters, 3 white sheep. They gowned me, and then the train station in, I think it was in Philadelphia, in 2003 when I was in exile. I went to exile in America.
In the U.S.
Yes, for 3 years. I'm always thankful to Americans for doing that.
You carry a Pullman loyalty to America too?
They lifted me, my wife, and children to America. And we spent 3 years there until Taylor left, and then I came back. Of course, when I in exile, working.
So you still got Sally.
So yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
Let's go into business. Now you're into politics. I mean, this was all happening when you were so concerned about your legal affairs, you know. But this is politics. Is it more stressful?
No, I enjoy dealing with people. It is not stressful. I mean, people act based on the parameters that have been laid up by previous politicians. Many of them use material things rather than message, rather than ideas. And of course, we are getting some of that, but we try to educate people because many people say, "Oh, dry dog sweet," but what dry dog? What
you're being eaten before they make it dry.
Which, you know, and they tell you that, you talk to them, and then they listen, because most people in the past have not talked about what they would do with power. They go there telling people beg or rights, this and that, and different things. But it's changing.
They don't tell what to do with the power. When the decision came about, I bet you have been having a series of interviews all along. When the decision came about, now you want to contest for the higher seat, I mean the presidency. Councillor Tiawan Gongloe, imagine me greeting you in the morning. Good morning to President Tiawan Gongloe. Tiawan, when the decision came about.
All through my life, I prepared myself for every opportunity that should exist in this country. That's why I've kept a good conduct. I've kept within the confines of the law, trying to prepare myself. I didn't know I would be minister in this country. Never thought about that. I never thought about being Solicitor General. I free a lot of people, including my good friend Samuel Moore from underground jail. I did justice ministry.
Samuel Moore,
yeah, I free him. He was my friend before, but I passed on Center Street. I heard somebody talking about mosquito. I looked through the pigeonhole, and I was Samuel Moore there. I got him free, and many others. I used to enjoy doing it. You know, when you do something for people and you see an immediate result and the appreciation. I work for rich people, but I appreciate poor people a lot because, you know, that thank you, it remains there forever. They never forget. I was in Zoomtown the other day. I said, "What was that?" And 2 persons came up. "You did this one for me." Many years. I almost said you lied because I didn't remember them. I don't know when I did it. Some legal issue. After that, another person got up. We went to a place in Bonkati called Kwekawata. One man brought rooster and said, "For this man's work, I will be receiving $750 from National Social Security and Welfare Corporation until I die." I was working for an NGO. I got wounded, and they couldn't. Everything. I went to him. He didn't ask me for money. He just wrote one letter to NASCOP, and then made a follow-up. And then they sent me to Ghana. I came back after I got well. He's limping, and you'll be limp forever because he has a leg problem. He said, "But I'm receiving over $750 every month because of him. And it will be so until I die. And so he had built, I think, 2 drugstores. He was building the third one from that. So people like that, their gratitude and the way they express it, you know. So many other places, I was telling you, in Philadelphia, somebody came in 2003, hugged me at the train station. I had no recollection of that man. He said he won Johnson. He said, you remember 1988? I had come from America. I won, and somebody, for some reason, just scared me, lied on me, took me and all they wanted me was to be, all they wanted to happen to me was for me to be disgraced. He said, hey, you came from America, we'll put you in jail. I was sitting on the prisoner bench, you can see your good looking at what's happening. When I explain my story, you got me out of prison that day. I've never done anything for you. You gave me $200 that day right at the train station. But the most important thing is the expression of gratitude. When you do things for people who don't have at the time, they remain eternally grateful. People who have money can pay you and pay anyone.
Why should Liberia trust you with the presidency? I mean, that was you doing your legal affairs. Back to the question: why should we trust you with the presidency? Like, we'll make the decision at the ballot box.
For many reasons. People don't. A lot of people may not know me, but I've always stood up for Liberia. From the time I was young, under the two-party regime, when you didn't have, we are the people who lay our lives down for people to have free press. In the 70s, when we were at the University of Liberia, there was New Liberia for the country, then Liberian Age for the True Party, and 2 other people that were closely connected to the True Party, the Inaugural and Sunday Express. That was it. We at the University of Liberia had an independent press called it like the University Spokesman. I was on the editorial staff. I was the art editor, and I used to draw things. And we used to speak about the government in the same way you see all these talk shows, Costa, Prof. Key, and different people. When you are speaking truth to power, the truth comes to you. Okay. So we used to get a lot of information.
But you make mention of the prophet. You know the prophet. Your ear passed through sometime.
Yeah, I've seen.
Great. Okay.
So we used to write, and the motto of our magazine was, if you have bullet to our breast, we shall speak the truth. I stand by that motto till today.
Speak the truth.
I speak the truth.
I mean, sometimes it's difficult to say the truth.
I don't care about losing opportunities or my life or anything for saying what the truth is, not about me, but for people. I enjoy doing that.
You enjoy doing so.
And so, under Talbot, I went to jail in 1978 at the age of 22 as a sophomore student. Okay. And then August 22nd, 1984, Sawyer was in jail, dean of Liberia College. I was a teaching assistant on campus. I was beaten, almost killed by some PRC members. And then, because I had said, oh, I'm not a student, I may be young, but I'm teaching here. Because I started teaching at the university in 1982. They said, but you're looking for, because you're the one teaching the Bible to those students.
And you were just teacher aide?
Yes, I was just a teaching assistant, but I was teaching that class. Because after the coup, a lot of professors left, one from Europe or other parts. So we were teaching assistants were assigned classes under the supervision of senior professors. That's how I taught people like Samuka, the Councilor Joseph Jala. So a lot of people, even the VP and all these people. So I was young. I was in my early 20s, 26 when I was teaching at university. So I was beating. Then 2002, the thing I was telling you about. So I've been standing up for the Liberian poor all the time, and speaking and writing about governance and human rights issues. I've written a whole lot. I had a booklet that was written and sponsored by the Media Foundation in Ghana on media and the Liberian law. And the late Philip Wilson and all these people used to use it to teach students at the University of Liberia. I have an article, Liberia's Experience with Separation of Powers, written I think 1999. There were times that I used to write a lot. I used to write in the newspapers. I wrote Thank God for Echo Morgan, a Point magazine by the late Bill Inouye, People thought I was a journalist because I used to write a lot about trending governance issues. So my views about good governance in Liberia are profound, and I put my life behind it. That's why Philip Randolph Institute gave me the highest award. Is the biggest black labor movement in America. They gave me the highest award called Freedom Award, Bayer Rustin Freedom Award. And they gave the next awardee a Harvard professor who had written 25 books. And the next award, the second rated award. And I was hired. So I said, well, why are you giving the highest award and give this man who had written 25 books and like 30 honorary doctorate degrees, a lower award? They said because he has to right to keep his job. You put your life behind what you believe, and you could have died. That's the Martin Luther King tradition. So the late congressman who died, I think 2 years ago, who worked with Martin Luther King Jr. When he died, it was a big thing. He was on the board. He told me, we gave you the highest award because you are prepared to die for what you believe.
Let's move on.
So that's it.
So you deserve the presidency.
You know, a president is someone who is prepared to die for his country. You see Zelensky?
Okay.
I mean,
I mean, he was a comedian. Now he's president for Ukraine.
What I'm saying is, I admire him so much. The Americans, the British, all these people went to him and said, we are prepared to give you a lift, you know, to go to safety. And he said, I will die here for my country. I will defend the sovereignty of my country. That is leadership. Leadership is not just the good times, the soft times, the enjoyment time. You have to be prepared to stand up for your country. Comparing with the leader of Afghanistan, as soon as the Taliban were on the,
he was on the first flight.
On the fringes of the city, he was on the first flight. So the soldiers gave up because there was nobody to stand up for.
Let's move on. How is the Liberian People's Party? Is the party well prepared to go into the general presidential election next year, the LPP?
It is prepared, and with this Tenabera, it is even more prepared. And let me say, you know, in Liberia, we haven't had parties that have stood up for long, maybe the Tree Party for over 100 years. But Unity Party that we have today is the party it is because of President Salif. One strong lady, she came from LAP and lifted the Unity Party in 1997. Unity Party was virtually dead to the extent that we went for the Alliance Convention in 1997. Unity Party did not even put up a candidate.
So you're trying to rebirth LPP now. I mean, Tiawan Gongloe is moving everywhere.
Yeah.
So LPP now, the Liberian people will take time to get used to this party. The Liberian People's Party, the LPP.
Well, sometimes they make mistakes and call it LP. Sometimes we call it ALP.
Okay.
So it's going to take some time. When I become president, then it will resonate everywhere. Because it's President Salih's 2 terms as president that made a lot of people go to Unity Party. Some of them go in Unity Party now.
Then CDC will be saying, CDC will be saying that within another 6 years, I mean, then a lot of people will be able to fix the economy and give us a 12th year.
No, it lies within their right to say so, but it is the right of the Liberian people to also say no. You know, it is so, and because Liberia right now is, in my view, is in the ICU, is an intensive care unit. You know, when you look at all the parameters of human development, that Liberian people will not vote CDC for a second term. You know, but CDC can ask for a second term. But whether or not Liberian people will vote CDC for a second term is something that I strongly believe Liberians will not do, because look at youth empowerment.
Okay, so that was going to be the next question I want to ask you. Yeah. Let's look at your platform. Many times, politicians will not tell the public what we'll do. All right, they just come out and go into power. So let's look at your platform. Your platform for the presidency.
Me, I'm an open person. That's why my private conversation.
What kind of open person you are?
My private conversation about my country, my private conversation, and the one I see on the radio are always the same. You know. Okay. So I don't. Someone told me the other day, you put everything you say out there. Are you not afraid that your colleagues will copy? I say, I hope all of the contenders can copy what I'm saying. It's good for Liberia. So let's move the same way. Now, I want to focus. I have a 10-point agenda for better Liberia.
Your platform.
Yes, but I want to focus on you.
What's the slogan you coming with? See, this is a change for all. I remember LPP say, above all else, the people. LPP, what's the slogan you coming with?
A better Liberia is possible.
A better Liberia
is possible.
Possible.
And there's another slogan that's on the sticker. Government is a place to serve, not to steal.
Let's say your platform, Tiawan Gongloe.
So, I don't want to read all of it. I don't want to speak about it. I just want to speak to the youth this morning. Youth
any plan for the youth?
Youth empowerment program includes education, technical training, rehabilitation of the socially challenged youth that people call Zogo. They need to be rehabilitated, given skills, and brought back to the society to be productive. I want to talk about education. And when I went to Bon County, every time when people were standing up, giving standing ovation, when I said when we stop corruption, and we have definitely plan to stop corruption, your children from kindergarten to 12th grade will go to school free. There will be no fees. I mean, no fees, graduation fee, West African examination fee, whatever, no fees. Because government will stop the wastage under my administration. There will be enough money to support education. And so they will have free textbooks. I will provide free textbooks for all students in Liberia, whether they're in private school or government schools, because they need the education for the future of our country. If students don't have textbooks, how do you give them assignments to do, which is the big part of learning? We will have, there's some school feeding program going, we'll intensify that. We will make sure that we buy copy books, pencils, and pens for the students to go to school and make it compulsory that if you don't send your child to school, you'll go to jail.
All right, so
that's part of it. Starting with the youth education, and I've talked about the rehabilitation skill training, and then we'll have technical school in every county, all of the 15 counties.
Technical school.
Yes, because some
people
want carpentry. Some people don't have the mind to do the big academics to go to university, but that doesn't mean they can't contribute to the country. They can be tailors, they can be masons, they can be carpenters, they can be mechanics, and the young fellows who are riding motorcycles. When I said that, they were happy in Yellowtown. When I said, look, you ride motorcycle by the time you are 40 years old, your bike can't make it again. And you need some skills to keep living and support your family. So we will have these motorcyclists learn skills. We will also, I think government has completely forgotten about its public safety responsibility. Government has an obligation to train the motorcyclists, teach them the rules of the road, teach them traffic signs and all of that. Because it is not happening, government is not doing it. And go to JFK, go to Truman Wall. A lot of motorcyclists and the passengers are lying there with broken bones and all of that. We will make it a responsibility that government will train motorcyclists, certificate them, give them license. In the training will include traffic law, the rules of the road.
So you have a better package for the youth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last one is job creation.
Job creation.
No.
I mean, everybody can work in government.
Job creation.
Okay. How you intend doing so?
Yes, what is in my plan. You know that free zone top up billing? You were not born then. For people to go there, you don't have to pay taxes, corporate taxes, but you can employ, right? Once you put your business in the free zone, government bill it. But we don't have, government does not have money to build factories. So what we do, we give an incentive that anybody who wants to build a factory 50 miles away from Monrovia will get 5 years tax holiday. You will not pay taxes. And then after the 5 years, when you build your factory, you will be paying lower taxes than the people in Monrovia, and then you will. But here's what will happen. So for Monrovia, the lesser tax you pay, other incentives. So if you have a company, I like to show Kipamos. If you have a factory in Kipamos, you pay probably zero, or maybe very low corporate tax, right? Lower than anywhere in the country, because that is the lowest end of our country, or even in Grand Cru. But take it this way: you employ 500 people in your factory. Those 500 people will get income, and government will tax the income, even though the company is not paying, but 500 people being paying taxes to government. The 500 people will be renting apartments and rooms from people in Kipamos, and then the government will tax the income that the house owners will be getting. Those people will buy, they and the workers will buy goods and services. Government will tax the income generated from there. So the people will be getting money, and government will be getting money, because there will be an expansion of the tax base of government. But the most important, I think, is that because currently the economy is concentrated in Monrovia, everybody comes to Monrovia greener pastures. But you have a company in Kipamos or Greenville or Funjaman, the young people will remain there. They will go to trade schools, they will be employed in the company, and they will stay in their home. They will not want to come to Monrovia. So then you expand the economy, and it will be beneficial. It's a win-win situation for the people and for the government.
Let's look at this 100 days working. I mean, the last time we had almost a week now. One of your rappers, should I say rapper, from the Unity Party. This 100 days working. What will be your 100 day working? Of all of the 1 hour interview we had, that was the only thing that was captured. Tiawan Gongloe 100 day working as president in office.
We discussed it before, but I can talk it again. You and I discussed it.
Maybe you have a new voice. No. Maybe you have revised it, or perhaps you have upgraded your 100 days working.
My 100 days, I said, will be largely on the rule of law.
The rule of law.
Rule of law. And the next thing was providing funds for small business people, the entrepreneurs. We will provide a small business loan. We'll start a small business loan for the entrepreneurs in the first 100 days. We will issue an executive order to make sure that law enforcement has integrity. Right now, a lot of people disturb the police. If the police arrest you now, and you are connected with someone in government, and you call the person calls the police, even though you have committed an offense, you will be let go. That is not good, because the public then watches it and says, oh, there's selective enforcement of the law. We want the law to be applied to all Liberians equally, irrespective of your connection.
The law is the law.
You can be the president's son.
The law is the law.
The law is the law.
The law is the
so
law.
We issue an executive order that any minister or official of government or any high official of government that interferes with police operation, that undermines police operation, that obstructs it, will be dismissed summarily, immediately. You're a political appointee, then you don't enjoy my pleasure anymore. So if you also interfere with the operation of the judiciary, from the magistrate to the Supreme Court, with even judicial officers like the bailiffs up to the marshal, you will be immediately dismissed, because the professional conduct of the police and the independence of the judiciary are very important for stability, for economic development and prosperity. So we issue those two. The third, in the same 100 days, we issue an executive order, this one for the economy. Most countries are no more exporting round logs. We issue an executive order to stop the exportation of round logs from this country, just cut in the forest. Sometimes go to Buchanan. When you go 1 mile outside Buchanan, when you cut the logs, sometimes 1,000 logs lying out there. When they don't find buyers, they stay there and get rotting. But these are trees that took 100, 200 years, 1,000 years to grow. And they are resources that the country can benefit from. So, unless you must have factory to produce, you must have a sawmill, and then Liberia, I will promote the idea of Liberia becoming a furniture exporting country by saying, I will also issue an executive order in the first 100 days that no government ministry.
President Gongloe have issued an executive order.
Yes, no government ministry or agency will buy imported furniture. We cannot be a country like this that has 43% of the tropical forest in West Africa, which means we have more forest than Nigeria, as big as it, Ghana, and Ivory Coast combined in this country. Just ride a plane, go to Cape Town, you see vast forest. So we will not buy imported furniture. We will promote for the furniture industry in our country so that more of our young people get into carpentries, and Liberia, they can even enter into partnership with some of the best furniture producing companies in the world. You see China, they allow companies to come from America and produce in China and export to the United States. These things that are clothes and cars and everything that are produced in China are produced, most of them are produced by American companies, but it's written on them, made in China, which carries the prestige of the country with.
Okay,
we can do the same here.
Yes, Council, election goal of money in terms of your financial muscle, the party financial muscle, the party, the financially strong to go into election. I mean, you need to campaign in all of the 15 counties.
I agree. Already, I've started the awareness acquaintance program.
You have to rebrand the party. You have to come election goal of money.
I agree, but money is not everything. We need money, and those who believe in our ideas should come forward and help us. We are appealing to them on the radio, and we have made appeals. Nobody, even President Cllr, didn't have the money. I worked with that campaign, but as the campaign developed, and she looked like a winnable candidate, it should look like a winning candidate. People started coming. They never really support you. Everybody who wants to support a candidate is keeping his or her ear on the ground to see who will go anywhere. You know that in a past election, there was about 23 political parties, some people got 600 votes. In an election where there were 1 million voters, some people got 500, some people got 0.22%, and all of that. So many are called, but few are chosen. I just entered the political race, right? My name has not gone everywhere. But I feel that I'm achieving because this time when they call names, they call me among the 4 persons that the media know. Yeah. And then there was one.
So you make mention of the incumbent George Weah. Next you see Alexander Cummins, Joseph Boyka, then Tiawan Gongloe.
But in the last poll I heard,
before
then, the last, my name was nowhere.
Yeah, you're nowhere.
The last poll I heard I was in Bonka, and one of my supporters called me excited. Is that cool FM? They said the poll said Joseph Boyka number 1, Councillor Gongloe number 2, George Weah number 3, and Alexander Cummins number 4. That's what the person told me.
So going back to this financial thing, Council, is the LPP strong enough? Your financial muscles. I mean, to call it cross, we know how the politics work in this country.
I'll answer that question. We don't have the money.
You don't have the money. So do you look for a merger? Probably maybe you could merge with another political party.
We don't have the money.
You look for a merger.
Politics is the act of the possible. I'm quoting back as my view. Everything lies within the logical range of probability in politics. Nothing is ruled out. Nobody knows what will happen just tomorrow.
Okay, so that's a fair thing.
Yeah,
anything can happen at any time.
Right. But who knew that Obama, after competing with Joe Biden in the Democratic primary, will make Joe Biden...
So the door is wide open. The door is open. Anything can happen at any given time.
It's the height of the possible.
How do you grade this leadership of George Weah? I mean, this government have boasted about roads, building roads. They have the free tuition at State Road University. The housing units are just everywhere.
You know, I don't like to focus on that because the public knows the truth.
I mean, you want to unseat George Weah.
I agree. What I'm saying, you know, if everybody knows that the sun is shining, that's not something for me to talk about. Because the reason I'm saying is that everybody in this country, from even in Grand Crew, knows that George Weah has failed. So I don't.
You mean the president on whom time?
He has failed everyone. I'm very popular in Grand Crew from what I get, surprisingly. Very popular in Grand Crew, you know. And so he has failed everywhere. Look, once he got to power and built 47-story buildings for himself in the first year, that was a huge mistake because everybody under him started acquiring properties too for themselves. So when the president sets the standard, he's the role model for any country.
So if you win the presidency, will you audit the previous government?
I will do everything that the law requires. That's all I can say.
What the law requires.
Yes.
What's your stand on corruption? I'm always seeing you going around with this broom. Why are you driving with this city with a broom? What's
governments in Liberia have been so dirty and has been accentuated by stealing. That's why I say government is a place to serve, not to steal. So I want the Liberian people to join me to sweep government.
So that's why you're holding the broom?
Oh, yes.
The broom.
Pretty soon we'll have a big broom.
Is an iron broom here or what? Because the stain of corruption, the last time we had people years ago persecuted and killed people for corruption. And now you want to use it.
You know, corruption in Liberia is based on greed stimulated by ignorance. Yeah? Because if people were aware that a president was assassinated and 13 of his ministers who were well accomplished people, educated and had a lot of money, were executed, showing the anger of those who carried on the coup that time. And they say the number one reason was rampant corruption. Everybody would be afraid to be corrupt, and they should be. But the fact that they are still corrupt shows the high level of ignorance, you know, and that ignorance is even worse because, you know, when you are ignorant and humble, you have a chance of redemption. But these people are ignorant and arrogant. So they are irredeemable. They will not change because they are ignorant and they say they are corrupt and they are acting out of ignorance. And then they say we are right in what we are doing, which is arrogant, which means nobody can save them.
What's your take on the food?
And because of that, they are not going to win.
It's not going to win. Before we get the lines open up quickly, what's your take on food and agriculture? The last time we had the shortage of rice.
The only sustainable way to have rice in this country is to produce it. Last year, the government, through the Ministry of Defense, the AFL, invited me because to be the keynote speaker at the Armed Forces Day Symposium. I said there, the role of the military is to protect, is to defend us against our enemies. Right now, we don't have any country fighting us. Therefore, the only enemy that we have in Liberia today is hunger. I'm asking the government and the lawmakers there to make appropriations for the AFL Agricultural Battalion to be given machines to clear large areas of land, just like GVL and Sam Darby and all these people did, not for planting rubber or cocoa or coffee or oil palm, to produce rice. The military works on a command. They are commanded to do so. They will jumpstart the rice production to help secure us because the role of the military is our collective security against our enemy. Now, the only enemy we have is hunger, and the military should be called into force by the CRC, giving them the machines to the weapons to fight hunger, which should be the agriculture machines, the tractors, the combine harvester, fertilizers, and everything to grow rice. Because why is the agriculture battalion just sitting and being paid without doing anything?
Okay, yes. What's the take on this whole?
And then my policy is that we have farmers cooperatives in the country. We revitalize the Agriculture and Cooperative Development Bank, and through that we'll give 15-year interest-free loan through farming machines, tractors and combine harvesters and all these things to the farmers cooperative in 15 countries, not to produce cocoa, coffee, or oil palm, but to produce rice, to produce pepper, bitter, but all the things we eat. Because it's a shame that we import pepper from Guinea next to, and we have more fertile land here than Guinea. You know, it is also a shame for us that India, that is more than 1 billion people, can produce rice, eat it, satisfy their population, and send the excess to us as export. Is shameful. And we are just 5 million, and we have vast land area that agriculturists have said is very rich. So the only sustainable way is not to promote food rice importation, but to promote growing rice for us to grow what we eat. That's every country in the world, whether it's America, it's China, Malaysia, most of the country, even in West Africa, the Ghanaians and the Nigerians, they grow the yam, they grow corn, and that's what they eat. So you got to feed yourself. If you're a father, you can't feed your family. You're irresponsible.
Okay, you're irresponsible. We're running out of time, Councilor Gongloe. But what's your take with the National Elections Commission once we introduce this biometric system? I mean, we haven't used such system before in our country for the first time.
LPP has a position on it already.
You have a position statement?
Yeah, LPP issued a position statement that this biometric system, although it has worked everywhere, it's not that we condemn it, but the timing, it should have been maybe 2 years ago.
Liberia is also struggling at the same time to count the population and all of that.
All of that. So, and then they're struggling with even the bidding process. One company, the PPCC, and other government agencies that are responsible for making sure that there is value for money, there is open bidding, a transparent process of awarding contract, had condemned it. And they went back on the board. And I understand that it came the company that was first selected in an open demonstration that other companies participated in with the observers, with many international observers and the political parties, that it failed. And then finally it said it failed. So they're even struggling with getting a proper company to do that biometric right now. So I think we should go ahead, do we want biometric, but we don't think the timing and the education
timely.
Yeah, the education that should go into it so that it can be properly done is not there. And because you need to educate the public about it, otherwise it will be another source of controversy for not accepting election results.
Meanwhile, Liberia is having a very tough time. They are struggling just everywhere with the census thing. Yes.
Yeah, they should. You know, it's the whole idea of suspicion that is created over different agencies of government simply due to corruption. One of Legions, I think the deputy director,
yes, Alex Williams.
Yeah, he got up and said that there was corruption at Legions. So, and Legions is a source of statistics in every area, agriculture, health, everything that we do, population, that we should rely on. Now, if it is considered to be corrupt, as a serious thing that the government should take into consideration, investigate, and hold people accountable. There should be consequences for corruption. It's not happening. While that is happening, then we're talking about the census, and now young people in the field are even saying, oh, they all took the exam and prepared now, and they're bringing another list and all that. That is not good, because the integrity of the electoral process begins with who will vote, and who will vote will be defined by the census. The census will determine the lawmakers will have, because according to the Constitution, every 20,000 people are entitled to a representation in the House of Representatives. And only the census can help us, make that decision, because after the census, when they define the population centers, there will be redemarcation of the constituency. And this election that is coming should not be based on electoral district. There's nothing in the Constitution for electoral district. It should be based on constituency, and constituency is determined by population. And it is the census that will do that.
All right, the voice of presidential hopeful, Councilor Tiawan Gongloe, radio was on the Breakfast Show, and we decide to get the telephone lines open up, 0770-153-265. Not every interviews require a telephone call, and so with this
that is true.
Let me just make this clear to the public. Not every interviews, all right, I determine with a phone call, but this one, he has accepted that he wants to interact with the general public. Let's get the lines activated. For my end, I don't know if you have a call from his end, 0770-153-265. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Cyprian, and good morning, Bonnie Roberts.
Go ahead. We don't have time. Go ahead.
Thank you so kindly. Let us activate my favorite render, and I do join your communication this morning from the Center for Exchanging the Letter of Opinion, CEO, on KV Street this morning. Let me say good morning to Councilor Gongloe, the Honorable Gongloe. I said to you, you have my clothes in your expertise. But there's one recommendation I do want to recommend to you, Gary, to 2023 presidential election. Honorable Gongloe, we have limited time, and those limited time, I do recommend that in fact, you look for your running mate now from now to December or later or early.
So you're giving you a time frame now, McLean?
Yeah. There's some people know who you will go to first, because that knowing your partner you are going to run to, because you often preach about integrity and accountability. That's so welcoming for our society now, knowing where that in fact there are rampant corruption in our society and economic meltdown to also, and that will also help our society.
Okay.
So I recommend to you in conclusion that in fact you go back to convention, see how that can let somebody go along with it, or you can pair with Jesus, you know, I can take you some kind of.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. You have to be audible.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my name is Patrick M.
Patrick, I'm struggling to hear you. You gotta change your location.
My name is Patrick M.
Go ahead, Patrick. You're calling from Firestone.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Let me just commend the speaker there, the Honorable Tiawan Gongloe. I've been following him out in this country, and I know he's a man of integrity. I would just want to advise that at least equally is with the Honorable Joseph M. Boakai, so that at least they will follow the fact thing that we actually concede this government.
077-015-3265. Call be live on the TBL. Let's go to line 2 and see if we can pick another caller line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
And I'd like to say hello to Coach. Thank you for coming on here.
You heard him? Is that Coach?
You call him Coach. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To do with the farming thing and the agricultural bank. And thank you for talking about the military being participating in bringing folks to our country. The last thing I want to ask about now is the accountability. I've asked two candidates already about that, and they give me the answers. But I'd like to hear from you, Coach. What do you think about accountability, and how far are you going to go? What is going to be the government that's going to be out, or the government before? I'd like to know. Thank you very much for the call.
Thank you. Let's see if we can get two more calls up. Let's pick this caller on line 2, 077-015-3265. Caller, good morning. Morning, you live. Hello?
Good morning,
Yeah, morning, you live. Go ahead.
Good morning, morning, Councilor Gongloe.
Morning.
You know that Councilor Gongloe is already president. I tell you for sure. Because the wicked people in this country will not want to vote for a kind of such. Because in Liberia, we are suffering. And this man, he has a respect for us also. So understanding from where he comes from and where he's heading, this is the kind of a character we need for this country. But because our society educates ourselves in the country, because our main example, Tiawan Gongloe should not be even asking us to vote for him. We should be going to see and telling him we want him to be our president. Look at what he did to the Liberia Bar Association. Look at his history of the places he has worked and compare it to him being president. But also we get ourselves in the country. So Councilor Gongloe will support you. Trust me, we'll be there to say I will say for you, but they left for the majority of the masses, whether they will find their path.
Okay. Thank you, Adan. Thank you. Let's pick our last caller. Then we'll go to our guest this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, my name is Genesis here, calling from Brownsville.
Go ahead.
Thank you to Councilor Gongloe. Councilor Gongloe, actually we are appealing to you. Try to join GMV. It's something like I'm second choice right now, and you and GMV will be the one.
Okay, so when you're making an appeal, then you don't go into a detail. Good morning. Last caller. You want to call us your name? Tell us your name. Where you calling from? Okay, I think you talk about a team announcing that to you, yeah, man. All right. Thank you. Yes, so you listen up to the caller.
Let me give my number. It's not secret. I said I can give my number out freely.
Yeah, but what if a presidential candidate give you a number? So you want the
number,
whole country to be calling you?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Instead of your team?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of what is in the call.
No, I'm not saying that. Probably you could be bumping to some kind of meeting. It's advisable you give your team number.
Yeah, I'll give my phone to.
Okay.
Madam, my number is 0777 07477. Again, 07777 07477.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yes, just respond to all callers.
I know her whole family from Maryland. That's where I went to school.
Okay.
Elementary school. But I think the people, again, as democracy, what people think and what politicians think are two different things.
Okay.
Because they are voters and we are politicians. For example, former VP Joe Barker and I are in two different political parties.
Even Alexander Cummings.
Yeah, Alexander Cummings is in another political party. The real view of all Nigerians is that all of the opposition parties
they should merge.
It should be one, and there should be two parties, opposition against the ruling party. That is the ideal situation that all Nigerians want. But that is not what always obtains anywhere. So that what and the election is already on. Some of these discussions should have been like
way back. So so your uncles already.
Election.
Your eyes is on the presidency.
Everybody's fighting as we are talking. Everybody's going to some corner to talk to people at different intellectual shops or going to villages. The election is going.
So maybe to make a crack team, you say Ellis Cummings and Tiawan Gongloe, or Joseph Boyka and Tiawan Gongloe.
Yeah, whichever way. Some people say team up. If the political parties...
And you still carry your broom.
I carry my broom. And the thing is, coming together must be big.
Look, simply say you need an iron broom to be going around with. Instead of this stick broom.
Well, the only thing I'm not saying about it sweeping an iron broom before, so I'm not going to do an experiment. I've seen people sweeping with this broom, not with iron broom. Yeah. The other thing is, look, coming together must not be based on personalities. Personalities can clash. It must be based on ideas. I always say people are Christians because they believe in Jesus Christ. People are Muslims because they believe in the teachings of Muhammad. People are Democrats because they are liberals in the United States. People are conservatives. are Republicans because they are conservatives. Then you got communists. Then you got socialists. You got different ideas. The ideas hold people, and they take the people who are the best proponents and practitioners of those ideas. I always see, look, Liberia has been toying with personalities coming together. Or part of the Alliance Convention. I was campaigning for Jackson Doe in 1985 and wanted to name our young campaigning with him, sitting with him, holding discussions. And somebody would say, why would Gabriel Pole at that time, for example, my uncle, because my mom from Hong Kong, not support Jackson Doe? After the election, Gabriel Pole declared that he won. Jackson Doe declared that he won. Cllr also declared that he won. So Doe was sitting in the seat, said, but me, I already sitting in the seat, myself, I won. So
okay, all of the opposition said they won.
Yes.
And then you comment to say, but then myself too I won. So that's why they say election was rigged.
Well, no, because he set up a 50-man committee to count the result that we already knew. And then the 50-man committee came up with a different result. So that alone, over 2 weeks, it created suspicion. But I'm saying that...
Just close up in 2 minutes, what a time, yes.
There have been a lot of talk about coming together, but I think people should come together based on what they agree to do for Liberia, which is, I have my broom.
You take care of it.
I carry my broom. But I've said, for example, that the president's salary, benefits, asset declaration must be on the executive mansion website and in the leading newspaper. I want an agreement on that. I have said that the president must subject himself to quarterly lifestyle audit every 3 months, and the report must be published in the newspaper and on the internet. I want an agreement.
These are things if you put in a framework document now. If Tiawan will come join your team, these are things you should go by.
I want agreement on that. I want an agreement that any minister that is caught after 3 months with an unexplainable expenditure that is beyond his income should be immediately dismissed and turned over to LACC prosecution. Because I strongly believe that when 5 ministers are in jail, their properties they are found guilty, their properties seized, their family members are suffering. Another minister will now want to steal.
Thank you so much
for coming.
These are the
things to agree on, because everybody has agreed that the only stumbling block for the development of Liberia is corruption. And I have a clear prescription for combating corruption.
So you carry a broom everywhere you go?
Yes.
Everywhere?
Yes.
Even in the market, you take the broom?
In America,
you took the broom to the U.S.?
To the State Department. I will receive, I carry my broom to the State Department.
Thank you so much this morning.
Also, saw me with my broom. He carried me through the security. I've carried the broom at the George Floyd Monument.
Okay.
Yeah.
The broom.
Everywhere.
The broom.
As a teacher, you need symbols to.
So even if you go advise, you'll still carry the broom. If let's say you go to advise with comments, you still carry the broom. Joe Buck, you still carry the broom.
Why are you putting me to advise? You don't see.
No, because like Rebecca can say you knew your first time
yeah,
trying.
But Obama was first and he won.
Okay.
And Joe Biden, who born him, was his vice president.
Okay.
So when I be looking for the example that suits them alone.
All right.
I'm a vision bearer.
Okay.
And I'm a fighter. No presidential candidate in this country has what I've been in this country in terms of sacrifice.
Make sure all your ministers carry the broom too.
No presidential candidate has sacrificed anything close to giving his life for this country.
But you.
I alone.
Tiawan Gongloe.
Yes.
Say Gongloe.
Yes.
Say Tiawan say Gongloe.
Nobody has the credential I have in terms of sacrificing for this country.
Thank you so much for coming.
Being quiet, playing safe, because government in the past will either put you in jail or make you lose opportunity. You will not get a job. I don't care for that. I'm loyal to 2 C's. My country and my conscience.
Your country and your conscience. Thank you so much. This is an edition of...
That's why I can resign from government anytime.
I don't care.
Not my personal thing.
Thank you so much on behalf of the entire team. This is all going to